all by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. I can't believe that we haven't had people on YouTube banning my singing, but thank you for all of you who are resisting the urge to say unkind comments about it. In today's Sweet Freedom Sunday, we are talking about loneliness. And the reason I'm talking about loneliness is when I do private one-on-one coaching with people, it is the number one thing that's kind of the root cause of sugar addiction for people. The latest research confirms that disconnection is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, contributor to addiction. And in the digital age, with our computers, our cell phones, television, there's a myriad of ways, games, all kinds of things that actually distract us from disconnecting from our nature, human nature. And because we're a social species, we're actually hardwired to be social and interdependent. That disconnection doesn't feel good for our soul, and we're often going to sugar as a way of filling it and making us feel better. Now, sugar can be, for many of us, the best friend that we want, in the sense that it's always there, it's cheap, it's easy. I mean, for the most part, keeps great secrets, except for, when we have way too much of it and it starts to show, we're not moving our bodies, or it comes out in our face and acne or that kind of thing. But for the most part, we can have it in secret and silence. But the downside to it is it's like a really unhealthy relationship, in that once you have it, you always kind of feel regret. It's kind of like that person we know we shouldn't be with, but we're with them, and it might feel good in the moment, but after we leave, not so much. Okay, it's an abusive relationship because it really does some nasty things to our body. And it's a codependent relationship because it always keeps us dependent on that friend, our little helper, as they often refer to with drugs, for that high and keeping us from then dipping down in that low. And so it's never enough. I know that I'm much more likely to overeat or have more of anything if I'm alone and feeling bad about myself than if I'm sitting across the table from someone and really connecting to the reasons why I'm upset in the first place. So how can we combat loneliness? Well, I think we need to start talking. I think we need to start to have courageous conversations with people, or even just simple connecting conversations. Recently, my mother's sister, my Aunt Edna, passed away. And in the last visits that I went to visit her in the hospital to see her before she passed on, we had really deep and meaningful conversations. They weren't hard work, it was really rather effortless. But one of the things that she said near the end is she said, I don't feel bad towards anyone, anymore. And it was one of those things that she was actually resisting having those conversations. And she experienced in her last years moments of loneliness that she hadn't before, because she hadn't reached out and connected and resolved these feelings within her. I think we all do this at times. We take things personally, we have conversations, and instead of resolving them with people that we really care for, we kind of hold on to them. And in that holding on, it doesn't make us feel very good. Where if we just had the simple conversations to work things through within the spirit of forgiveness, I think we'd have a lot more meaningful connections. And I think we'd probably eat less sugar. So what are some other things that we can do to connect to ourselves and to others instead of sugar? Sharing a meal is a really powerful thing. I often say that I'd rather have a greasy bowl of noodles with people who are kind, positive, and loving than to have the most gourmet, nutritiously prepared meal with people who are angry, depressed, and negative. But think about the power of having something that's nourishing, energizing, protective, and also tastes great, and sharing it with people that you really care and love and respect. Okay, so that can be something like cooking a meal together, going to the farmer's market, even just going shopping, or maybe you invite people over and each one of you brings a dish, right? So that kind of communal table thing is really helpful for people feeling a true sense of connection. Even if you have to invite people to dinner via Skype, if physical proximity is not possible, sometimes you can actually share a meal over Skype. It's not the same as tasting each other's dish, but at least you'll feel less disconnected if you're watching your computer screen having a conversation with someone rather than just watching something and eating alone. Another thing that you can do is to connect with nature and maybe go for a walk with someone. And even if you're not in a position to go walking with another person, there is a deep sense of connection that we have with the planet and something bigger than us when we're out in nature. It's really quite soul satisfying. And what you'll often find is that when you're walking and you're observing in the trees or the mountains or the ocean or even just a park, and you're present with nature, number one, you're not eating, okay? So there's a reprieve from, that kind of dependency that we have on sugar. And there's something really beautiful and touching that happens to our soul. So if you can go out on your own or share that experience with other people, it's another powerful way to bridge the gap of loneliness and make us feel connected. The other piece is to connect with something bigger than ourselves. So for you, that could be getting involved in a charity or a cause and a mission or something that where you feel like you're part of healing going on the planet, or us, helping to heal other people, or, even just picking up trash in a group, going for a walk with people. That can be really powerful. Creative endeavors. So a lot of us in the Sweet Freedom online program in the group, we share the creative things and projects that we're involved in. I know Christina is like me. She's a fluid acrylic art painter, artist, and it brings us a great deal of joy when we're in the process of creating. And in the process of creating, we connect with that kind of inner thing that feeds our spirit. And again, we're not eating. So it's a lovely way to feel connected to something bigger than us, and that is our creativity and accessing genius. Pretty cool. Now, I'm not sure about you, but sometimes our kind of reticence or hesitation around connecting with people is because we have some unfinished business to do, and we might think that other people aren't ready to tackle it, or we may not be ready. But I'd love to challenge you to consider, just for a moment, to go to that place of quiet, that knowingness within yourself, that access to something greater than you, and to dig into your heart and into your soul and really consider the piece of forgiveness. Even if you feel you've been wronged, to go into that place where you can actually forgive a person. I know when my Aunt Edna, in her last few moments, a few weeks on the earth, one of the things that was most healing for her and why she actually left this world in a peaceful state is she'd really come to peace with forgiving other people. And she said, all those things, we got, that prevented us from connecting. My words, not hers, but the sentiment's the same. It really doesn't matter. One of the things that I find that we love about movies and stories where people connect in times of trauma or difficult circumstances is that we start to see each other as humans with failings, with faults, and all the other extraneous stuff in life. It really doesn't matter. What just really matters is that there's another human there. They have the wants, the same wants, needs, desires as most other humans. And like most of us, we're just all trying to do the best we have with the resources that we have. Sometimes loneliness and the source of it is not really recognizing that. And I think if you can go to that quiet, beautiful, still peace within yourself, and of course it's easier to do when you don't have sugar in your body, but if you can get there and start to connect with people from that place, your life is going to be a lot more enriched, a lot more grounded. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel more peaceful in the world. And that really is one of the biggest keys to sweet freedom. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and like it. Subscribe to the channel and share it with people you care about that can benefit from this. And join our incredibly supportive Facebook group. And lastly, if you're looking to get sugar-free naturally, follow the links below and find out more about the Sweet Freedom online program.